When your boss asks you to create a summary report in Excel, there are a lot of different ways to go about this. And of course, you'll want to use a method that's easy to update when your data changes. So in this video, I'm going to explain how to create summary reports with both formulas and pivot tables. And at the end of the video, I'll explain when to use each technique. So let's go. All right, so here is the data that we need to create a summary report for. This is orders data, so each row contains one order. And the first thing I'm going to do here before we start creating summary reports is convert this to an Excel table. So I'm going to go up to the Home tab and go over to Format as Table. We can choose from any of these styling options. I'll go ahead and choose this one, and then we'll say OK, and that will convert this to an Excel table. And with the table, you can see we get these nice banded rows. The filters are automatically turned on, and tables have a lot of nice features here on the Table Design tab that help with analyzing our data. If you're not familiar with tables yet, I have a separate video that covers them in more detail, and I'll link that up in the description below. And tables will also help us when we add new data to this data set later, and I'll talk more about that later in the video. So the first technique we'll talk about for our summary report is a formula-based approach. And what we need is a list of these categories here, a list of unique items. So for this, I'm going to go right over here to cell H2, and I'm going to use the unique function. So you can start typing equals unique, tab into that. And unique really only has one required argument, which is the array or the range of cells that contains the list that we want to essentially remove duplicates from and just create a list of unique values. So this is our reference here to the category table here the category column in table 7 over here. These are called structured references. Again, if you're not familiar with Excel tables yet, check out that video in the description below that explains more about these structured references. But I'll just go ahead and hit enter right now, and that's going to return this list of unique values. And now that we have this list, we want to summarize revenue here in this column for each of these categories. So for this, I'm going to use the SUMIFS function. We'll start typing SUMIFS, we'll tab into that. The first argument is the sum range. This is the column of values we want to sum. So we're just going to reference the revenue column. The criteria range is going to be the criteria that we're going to look at, which is our category column. Keyboard shortcut here is you can select a cell and then press Control Space, hold Control and press Space to select the entire column in a table. Comma, the criteria is just going to be accessories. So we're going to select this cell first and we'll hit enter, and that's going to return a sum of revenue for all of the rows that contain accessories. Now we could just copy this formula down. We can double click the fill handle here to copy the formula down. However, since the unique function returns a spill range, it returns this range here with all of the values in what's called a spill range, we can also reference this range in our SUMIFS formula. So I'm going to delete these two formulas here. We're going to go back and edit this formula. And right here, instead of H2, there's two ways we can reference this. We can actually just select all of these cells here in the spill range, and you'll see that this reference turns into H2 hash. And this essentially means that it's going to reference the spill range. It'll always reference all of the cells in the spill range. So if we get a new category down here, this will automatically pick up that new category. So that's H2 hash. You can either select the cells or you can just type H2 and then hash at the end, and it will automatically create that reference. So now when we hit enter, that's also going to create a spill range for the SUMIFS. It's just going to copy down essentially that formula to the entire spill range for our unique function. And you can see we get all of the results here with one single formula. Now the unique function is available on Excel 2021 and later. So if you're on an older version of Excel or the users of your file are on an older version of Excel, then you'll need to use a different technique. But no worries there, I have another technique that I'll talk about later in the video that works on all versions of Excel. So the next technique we'll look at for our summary report is another formula-based solution. In this cell here, I'm going to start typing equals GROUPBY. So GROUPBY is a new function to Excel that creates this summary report for us. The first argument here is the row fields. So this again will be the category column. So we'll reference that, comma. The values is going to be the values that we want to sum up. So I'll reference that column as well, comma. the function argument allows us to choose from these different calculation types. So in this case here, we want a sum. So we can just hit tab for sum, and that's all the arguments we need. There are additional optional arguments here, but we don't need to specify any of these right now. So we can close parentheses on this and hit enter, and that's going to create this summary report here with one single formula. So you can see in this column, we first have the categories listed out here. So a list of unique values for the categories along with a total row, and then the sum of revenue for each of those categories and the total at the bottom. And it's important to note that the GROUPBY function is currently only available on Microsoft 365. So if you or the users of your file are not on that version of Excel yet, then you can use the next technique that we're going to talk about. And for this next technique, we're going to use a pivot table. So I'm going to select any cell inside of my table here, go to the Insert tab, and click Pivot Table. That'll open up this window here, and we're going to put this on an existing sheet. Typically, you can put it on a new sheet, and this will create a new sheet for you. But to explain pivot tables, I'm going to put it on an existing worksheet, and that's going to be right here in cell H2. And then we'll go ahead and hit OK. And that's going to add this pivot table area to the worksheet. And over here on the right side, it's going to open the pivot table fields list task pane, which is the area where we can build out the pivot table. And pivot tables are really just summary reports. Or I should say they allow us to create summary reports with just simple drag and drop. So if I want to see those categories, a unique list of those categories, I can just drag and drop it into the rows area here. And that's going to create a list of all of the categories. Again, removing all the duplicates and just giving me a list of unique values. And then if I want to see the sum of revenue, I can just, again, left click and hold revenue, drag it into the values area, and that's instantly going to calculate a sum of revenue for each category. And it also adds the grand total row down here to the bottom. And pivot tables are an awesome solution for a few reasons. First, we didn't need to write any formulas. We just built this with simple drag and drop, and it just takes a few seconds. Second, they're highly flexible. So I can just right click here. If I want to see something besides the sum, I can choose summarize values by, maybe I want to see the average instead. That instantly calculates the average of the revenue for each category here. And I can quickly change this. Maybe I want to go back to sum. And instead of seeing the sum, I can do show values as and take a choose a percentage of grand total. And then this breaks out the percentage of total of each of these categories for revenue. I'm going to go ahead and quickly just switch that back to no calculation. We can also take something like the channel here and put it in the columns area, and that's going to show both channels across the top of our report. So this now breaks out the sum of revenue by category, by channel. And if I didn't want to see that, here I could just drag this field out of the columns area, and that removes it to make a very flexible report. And pivot tables can also help us create dashboards. So I can go to the Insert tab here, and I'm going to choose Pivot Chart, and this will allow me to quickly visualize my data. So I'll just choose this column chart for now, say OK. So I have this chart here that's connected to the pivot table. So again, any changes that are made to the pivot table will also be made to the pivot chart as well. And to make this interactive, we can also insert slicers. Slicers are essentially filters. So maybe instead I want to filter this down by the different channels. So I'll say OK here. That's going to add this slicer, which again is a filter, to the sheet. And I'm going to jump back over to the pivot table, and real quick I'm going to take channel out of the columns area. So I just want to see sum of revenue by category only. And then here I can interact with my slicer by just clicking one of these channels, and that's going to filter down both the chart and the pivot table for just the online channel. So it makes our reports interactive. We can add more charts here to create a dashboard with multiple visualizations that really highlight and allow us to quickly analyze our data. And pivot tables have been around since 1994, so they're available on all versions of Excel. So now let's compare each of these techniques. And we're really going to compare the formula-based solutions with unique and SUMIFS and GROUPBY compared to the pivot table solution. And in my opinion, there's really two major factors here. The first is formatting. So you'll notice with both SUMIFS and GROUPBY, these spill ranges are not formatted. We need to take extra steps to format the numbers. Or if we want to do something like format the total row, I'll go up to the Home tab here, I'll just make it bold and apply some type of fill color to format that manually. Where with the pivot table, all the formatting is automatically done when we build out the pivot table. And pivot tables have a lot of nice features here on the Design tab if we want to quickly change the style of the pivot table. And there's even options to fully customize these styles further. So pivot tables really save us a lot of time when it comes to formatting. And the other major factor is what happens when our data changes. So down here, I have some new data that I'm going to add to the bottom of the table. I'm just going to hit Control X to cut this, and then I'm going to paste the data to the bottom of the table. When I do that, a few things happen. First of all, my table automatically extends to include the new data, and therefore my unique and SUMIFS function include that new data. We can see there's a new category for apparel right here based on the new data, and that's automatically included in both this spill range and the spill range as well. And same thing with the GROUPBY function. We automatically have the new category here. Now you'll see that we have an issue with our formatting here, and that's because I manually formatted this row before. It's no longer the total row, but Excel does not automatically adjust that formatting for me. So I need to change this to format this row now, or I could use something like conditional formatting here to make this more dynamic. But again, that's going to require a lot more setup work. Now, since these are formulas, they automatically recalculate to give us the new data. You'll notice that the pivot table doesn't. Pivot tables require a refresh. Now, it's very simple. You can just select any cell inside the pivot table, right-click, and then choose refresh. Keyboard shortcut is Alt F5. And once I do that, you'll see that apparel is now added and my numbers are updated. But if you forget this refresh step, this can cause some embarrassing mistakes if you send out outdated reports. Now, last year, Microsoft announced an auto refresh feature that was here on the Pivot Table Analyze tab for a bit. There was an auto refresh button that was announced into beta. They've since removed that. They were having some issues with it, but hopefully they bring that back because it'll really solve a lot of problems here with pivot tables and having outdated reports that you have to manually refresh. There are ways to implement automatic refresh with things like macros. I have a separate video on that I'll link down in the description below. But again, that's a bit of a workaround solution. And I also want to mention that there is also a PIVOTBY function that is very similar to GROUPBY, but if you want to have columns across the top, it has a column fields option. And you can just leave this blank if you always want to use PIVOTBY instead of GROUPBY. So unfortunately, there is no perfect solution here, and the technique that you use will really depend on your scenario. If you're constantly making updates to the source data, or you have multiple users working on the file making updates to the source data, and you want to see your reports refresh automatically, then I think the formula-based approach is the way to go. On the flip side, if you're only getting new data maybe once a week or once a month, and you're okay with manually refreshing the pivot table, then I really like pivot tables because they save a lot of time with the build out, don't require any formulas, and we can use things like pivot charts and slicers to make interactive reports and dashboards. So I'm curious to know which of these techniques you'll be using. Let us know down in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button and consider subscribing. And if you want to see other ways to automate Excel, then check out this video next. Thanks again for watching, have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.